Kiara, welcome back in Gouda. Nice to have you back again.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Good to be back.
Yeah, we just finished, I think, day 3 of your workshop.
Yeah.
And you worked in Gouda today with quite some people. Can you tell the viewers about this workshop? Where is it all about?
Well, a lot of this whole thing is about incarnation. So using a way of connecting with yourself by physiologically linking the superconscious with the subconscious mind. And then allowing the full presence of who we are to descend through the physical body, through the etheric, the mental, emotional bodies. You know, there's different names for this in different traditions, but it's about really incarnating the presence.
Yeah, but when you tell it this way,
Yeah.
I cannot believe that there are a lot of people who understand this and go for that.
Okay. Yeah, basically it's about being yourself.
Okay.
You know, most of what we are, we're not really being ourselves, we're being the conditioning of who we have been taught to be.
The search to
Socialization, conditioning, programming. So it's like mental, emotional, and social, even spiritual programming.
Okay.
So it's letting that go so you can be who you are, transparently and powerfully.
When you look at your target group, the people who came to visit your workshop, what kind of people are they? What kind of needs do they have?
I think anybody in a human body is basically connected to this matrix of the subconscious mind. So we all inherit the same fears, the same problems, the same issues, the same belief in separation and duality. So we basically experience the same mess-ups.
Yes.
You know, we're all searching for unity, we're all trying to find God, whatever God means to us. But it's always the mental ego that's trying to get someplace. And this journey, what we're doing with Ilahi Noor, is about letting go of that mental ego so that the transcendent self can connect directly with the physical body in a way that integration can happen. So it also means letting go. It's like there's a way that the subconscious traumas can also be released, because the physical body and the subconscious are directly linked together.
Yeah. You do this already quite some years, this workshop.
Yeah,
What are the effect, the impact of it? What do you see when people finish it?
More presence. You know, you're here. More of you. I mean, when I say you, I'm not talking about the separate ego. I'm talking about the divine presence.
Mm-hmm.
So the qualities of joy and love and beauty and harmony and power.
So can you say after the workshop, when they come back into a regular life, their work and their families, that there's a change?
There's a change, and also sometimes there's a process of integration which can be sometimes difficult. You know, because you're so used to being a certain way, and then when change happens, it's about shifting out of that old self, which is oftentimes very limited, into integrating this new presence. So there's a journey there.
Yeah. Do you see an increasing of number of people coming to your workshop because they are looking for something?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's looking for something. What's that John Lennon song?
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for something. But it's like, sometimes you don't even know what it is we're looking for.
No.
And it's not a belief system. We have to get out of our belief systems about what we're looking for. Because that creates religions, that creates dogmas. But the presence. Everyone's looking for more presence, to be more themselves, to be transparent, let go of the mask, and just be safe in the presence.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't learned that. We have always forced people into a box. This is what we learned from the time we were very young. And now it's time to break out of the box. So once people learn how to do that, it's a very joyful process.
Okay, let's talk now about how you learn it, because a great part of the workshop is your curriculum, your own personal experience.
Yeah.
You have done a lot of things. You wrote some books.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to. So, initially my journey, I grew up in India. It was about going to different spiritual communities, meditating, learning about different spiritual traditions. And then I left India, went to the United States. I was very much interested in the Native American spiritual traditions, the earth connection. Then I got interested in transpersonal psychology, trained to become a psychotherapist, body, mind, spirit, working with the integration of that. And then one day I was in Hawaii, which was one of my favorite places on the planet.
Doing research?
Well, it was just having fun, connecting with the land, swimming with dolphins. And then I had an experience with whales, which was life-changing. And I felt like as I was in their presence, they were able to open up certain connections in my brain. So I was receiving these waves of light and love from the whales. And what happened is that my personal self began to dissolve. And my sense of my physical body expanded to fill the whole earth. And I felt like the earth became my body. And that experience continued. I could always feel the presence of the whales after that. I could always feel like the whole earth was my body, and that I was a cell in the body of the earth. So that was an early experience, and then later I'd been living in Turkey, experimenting with different practices, Sufi practices there. And at one point, Ra, who's the Egyptian deity of the sun, showed up and started to teach me about how to open up the connection between the bodies, between the physical bodies and the light bodies, in order to incarnate that presence more fully. And some of it had to do with an area in the back of the head, which is linked to the subconscious mind through the limbic system. And then another connection is to the higher self through the frontal lobes and the chakras. And so as those connections were being made, it became very easy to bypass the thinking mind and to bring these different aspects of the self together. So the different bodies could merge together and spirit could descend, incarnate into the physical form.
Mm-hmm. But was it also for you a clear point that you want all these insights to share with the world?
Yeah, I mean, it felt important to do that. I'd been a psychotherapist for 15, 20 years by that time. And it always felt like, yes, this is important, but it's so slow sometimes. People have done years and years of therapy, still find themselves back in the same loops. How do you get out of the mind or the mental ego? How do you get out of the trauma and the fears we carry in a way that's easy and effective? So this was a physiological way of making those connections, bridging the subconscious mind with the superconscious directly. Mm-hmm. And then the higher mind could do what's needed to release old patterns and fears and traumas in a way that the mind didn't even have to be aware of consciously. It was like a process that involved the cellular mind.
So people can cure themselves.
So anybody could cure themselves, anybody could heal traumas, and this is simple enough that anybody could learn it and then teach other people. Yeah. So it's like, you have a candle, a bright candle that lights another candle, mm-hmm. and that candle lights another candle. So it doesn't have to be a hierarchy or a lineage. It's time that anybody and everybody started to learn basic tools mm-hmm. for self-realization, for opening up to a fullness, to that divine presence.
The way you are doing that now, dividing all this material and insights, what can we expect from you the next years? Are you continuing this, or do you have new ideas?
Yeah, I mean, all of this is an experiment. So for me it all continues to evolve. I don't think there's ever an end. But it's simple, and that's the main thing. It's simple enough that anybody can do it, and then anyone can merge this with their own practices, with their own meditations, their own skills. But for me, it's like a continuing process. I don't know where it's going to take me. Mm-hmm. I love this work.
But we see that the world is very much in changing and in need of this kind of help.
Well, I think if we don't shift, we are doomed. I think that's what motivated me in the beginning, that we need to find a way to create a shift of consciousness so we don't end up destroying ourselves and the earth. And how do we do this? can we create this change and in a way that's fast enough and effective enough to overbalance this duality consciousness? And so my answer now is yes, because I see the power of this work. I feel how this whole transformational process is happening collectively. Now we're going through a massive shift, independent of our belief systems, independent of the human mind. You know, there's an evolutionary principle that's pushing, driving all of this.
Yeah. If I listen very well, I think your mission is quite clear.
Yeah, and it's not my mission. I think it's the universal consciousness that's choosing to wake up now.
But you are putting through the candle.
Yeah, it's nice to hold up the candle.
Thank you very much, Kiara.
Thank you, Rob.